Question 36.13. Questioner, then using Himmler as an example, was his higher self at the time he was incarnate in the 1940s a sixth density positively oriented higher self? Answer, I am Ra. This is correct. Question 36.14. Questioner, was Himmler in any way in contact with his higher self at that time when he was incarnate during the 1940s? Answer, I am Ra. We remind you that the negative path is one of separation. What is the first separation, the self from the self? The one known as Himmler did not choose to use its abilities of will and polarization to seek guidance from any source but its conscious drives, self-chosen in the life experience and nourished by previous biases created in other life experiences. Question 36.15. Questioner, well then let's say that when Himmler reaches sixth density negative, would he realize that his higher self was positively oriented and for that reason make the jump from negative to positive orientation? Answer, I am Ra. This is incorrect. The sixth density negative entity is extremely wise. It observes the spiritual entropy occurring due to the lack of ability to express the unity of sixth density. Thus, loving the Creator and realizing at some point that the Creator is not only self but other self as self, this entity consciously chooses an instantaneous energy reorientation so that it may continue its evolution. Question 36.16. Questioner, then the sixth density entity who has reached that point in positive orientation may choose to become what we call a wanderer and move back. I am wondering if this ever occurs with a negatively oriented sixth density entity. Do any ever move back as wanderers? Answer, I am Ra. Once the negatively polarized entity has reached a certain point in the wisdom density, it becomes extremely unlikely that it will choose to risk the forgetting, for this polarization is not selfless but selfish, and with wisdom realizes the jeopardy of such wandering. Occasionally a sixth density negative becomes a wanderer in an effort to continue to polarize towards the negative. This is extremely unusual. Question 36.17. Questioner, then what is the mechanism that this unusual sixth density entity would wish to gain to polarize more negatively through wandering? Answer, I am Ra. The wanderer has the potential of greatly accelerating the density whence it comes in its progress in evolution. This is due to the intensive life experiences and opportunities of the third density. Thusly the positively oriented wanderer chooses to hazard the danger of the forgetting in order to be of service to others by radiating love of others. If the forgetting is penetrated, the amount of catalyst in third density will polarize the wanderer with much greater efficiency than shall be expected in the higher and more harmonious densities. Similarly, the negatively oriented wanderer dares to hazard the forgetting in order that it might accelerate its progress in evolution in its own density by serving itself in third density by offering to other selves the opportunity to hear the information having to do with negative polarization. Question 36.18. Questioner, are there any examples of sixth density negatively polarized wanderers in our historical past? Answer, I am Ra. This information could be harmful. We withhold it. Please attempt to view the entities about you as part of the Creator. We can explain no further. Question 36.19. Questioner, I was wondering if qualification for contact with Ra might include penetrating this forgetting process. Is this correct? Answer, I am Ra. This is quite correct. Question 36.20. Questioner, otherwise the law of confusion would prohibit this. Is this correct? Ra, this is correct. Question 36.21. Questioner, I was also wondering if 3 was the minimum number necessary for this type of working. Is this correct? Answer, I am Ra. For protection of this instrument, this is necessary as the minimum grouping and also as the most efficient number due to the exceptional harmony in this group. In other groups the number could be larger, but we have observed in this contact that the most efficient support is given by the individual mind, body, spirits present at this time. Question 36.22. Questioner, I'm a little fuzzy on a point with respect to the higher self. We each, I am assuming, have an individual higher self at sixth density positive level. Is this correct? each of us in the room here, that is, the three of us. Answer, I am Ra. This shall be the last full question of this working. We shall attempt to aim for the intention of your query as we understand it. Please request any additional information. Firstly, it is correct that each in this dwelling place has one oversoul, as you may call it. However, due to the repeated harmonious interactions of this triad of entities, there may be seen to be a further harmonious interaction besides the three entities' higher selves. That is, each social memory complex has an oversoul of a type which is difficult to describe to you in words. In this group there are two such social memory complex totalities blending their efforts with your higher selves at this time. Question 36.23. Questioner, it is very difficult at times for us to get more than a small percentage of our understanding of some of these concepts because of our limitation of awareness, but I think that some meditation on the information from today will help us in formulating some questions about these concepts. Answer, I am Ra. May we ask for any brief queries before we leave this instrument? Question 36.24. Questioner, I'll just ask one short one before we close. Can you tell me what percentage of the wanderers on Earth today have been successful in penetrating the memory block and have become aware of who they are? And finally, is there anything that we can do to make the instrument more comfortable or to improve the contact? Answer, I am Ra. We can approximate the percentage of those penetrating intelligently their status. This is between 8.5% and 9.75%. There is a larger percentile group of those who have a fairly well-defined, shall we say, symptomology indicating to them that they are not of this, shall we say, insanity. This amounts to a bit over 50% of the remainder. Nearly 1/3 of the remainder are aware that something about them is different, so you see there are many gradations of awakening to the knowledge of being a wanderer. We may add that it is to the middle and first of these groups that this information will, shall we say, make sense. This instrument is well. The resting place is somewhat deleterious in its effect upon the comfort of the dorsal side of this instrument's physical vehicle. We have mentioned this before. You are conscientious. We leave you now, my friends. I am Ra. I leave you in the love and in the light of the infinite Creator. Go forth, then, rejoicing merrily in the power and the peace of the one Creator. Adonai.